So institutionally speaking, there actually aren't that many tools Democrats have to push back on what's happening in the White House. House oversight powers depends on having control of the majority. And if Democrats don't have the House majority, they can't exercise vigorous oversight powers. And of course, in the Senate, there are Senate oversight and investigative powers as well, but those two depend on having the majority. When you are shut out of the majority, there's not much you can affirmatively do through Congress. That's just the way it goes. But there are things that Democrats can do to slow down the process, slow down Republicans in Congress, slow down the confirmation of political appointees in the administration, and perhaps make the administration pull back because it wants to actually get its people in office. So here are the things that Democrats can do institutionally in Congress. And really, we're talking here about mostly Senate Democrats, but also House Democrats. Here's what they can do. Institutionally, the first thing they can do in the Senate is they can just refuse unanimous consent. And some Democrats, like Brian Schatz from Hawaii, have already said that they plan to do this. And all that means is that they're just not going to give their consent whenever the Senate wants to move to a new piece of business, which means that you have to take a vote and all this other stuff. And it just adds time to the clock. It eats up floor time. It slows things down, potentially to a crawl. And that can be very valuable. The other thing Democrats can do is that budget negotiations are coming up. Negotiations over the debt limit are coming up. And there aren't enough Republican votes to do either of these things in a party line vote. The House Republicans are just too fractured to be able to do this in a party line vote. And so they're going to need Democrats to pass any kind of spending bill. And if it's not a reconciliation bill, then it can be filibustered in the Senate. And so they need Democratic votes anyway. Democrats should just refuse to negotiate. Refuse to negotiate. Do not participate in budget negotiations. Do not participate in any effort to lift the debt ceiling. There's a good reason for it beyond the fact that they want to basically push back on the administration. And that is that by claiming the power to unilaterally make spending decisions, to freeze federal funds, Trump is saying that he views congressional appropriations as a mere recommendation, not anything he has to follow. And if that's the case, then I think Congress and Democrats in Congress have every right to say, well, we're just not going to give you any money, right? We're just not going to, if you're going to treat our laws, our directives as mere recommendations, then we're just not going to play the game.
So don't do it.
Force Republicans to figure out a continuing resolution on the budget. Force Republicans to figure out a way to lift the debt ceiling. And if they can't do it, then that's too bad. Trump will have to pull back on letting Elon Musk run wild if they want any Democratic support for doing this. Now, is this potentially painful for a lot of people? Yes. But as far as options go, I think this is one of the good ones, and it's certainly worth doing.